Hi, I'm Stephanie Anderson, a hair loss professional, a speaker, advocate, and best-selling author. And I want to talk to you about alopecia is a thing, breaking through the BS or the belief systems. This is a groundbreaking book that delves deep into the truths about alopecia that have been long misunderstood. Are you or someone you know affected by this condition? Then this book is a must-read for you. In this eye-opening read, you will uncover the causes, the symptoms, and emotional support options for alopecia like never before. Say goodbye to misconceptions and discover practical tips and advice that have empowered countless individuals to reclaim their confidence and embrace their true selves. But the journey doesn't stop there. Alopecia is a thing goes beyond facts and figures, and it's a collection of powerful personal stories from real people who have triumphed over alopecia. Their inspiring journeys will touch your heart and show you the incredible resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Whether you're personally affected by alopecia or seeking to better understand it, this book is your essential guide. It's a beacon of hope and empowerment for anyone willing to open their minds to new perspectives and possibilities. Don't miss out on this transformative read. You don't have to be a woman or man losing your hair to understand this book, but you must have an open mind too. And if you're ready to take control of your life and regain your confidence, then Alopecia is a Thing is the perfect resource for you. And let's journey towards, if not an hairier, but emotionally healthier future together. In the intricate tapestry of the African American community, the significance of mentorship stands as a beacon of guidance and empowerment. Hello, welcome to the Main Health Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anderson. As we navigate through the complexities of society, the need for mentorship becomes increasingly paramount in shaping the trajectory of our personal and professional development. By fostering relationships with mentors who offer wisdom, experience, and support, we can transcend barriers, unlock our full potential, and pave the way towards a brighter future. In this modern age of opportunities and challenges, mentorship serves as a vital catalyst in nurturing talent, fostering resilience, and building a legacy of success within the African American community. Well, today's guests are, I have one half of San Antonio's power couple who works tirelessly in the community. Since 2008, they have served as co-chairs for the annual wreath-laying ceremony held the preceding Sunday of the largest Martin Luther King Jr. March in the nation. Although he wasn't able to come here today, Brother Harold is also the voice at KCHL Praise Radio, and his lovely wife sitting next to me today is very active in the community. And we're going to highlight one of the programs that she has been working with since 2010 called San Antonio Cares. Let me share a little bit about the National Care Mentoring Movement. But first, let me welcome our guest, and I'll also, Miss Mary Moore, if you get a chance to welcome the guest that you have with today, share her name with us, please.
Okay, of course, I'm Mary Moore, the other half of the Harold and Moore show or couple, and we do serve as affiliate leaders for San Antonio Cares. And I am excited to have with me today Miss Konise Millender. She's an educator, a life cheerleader, just by nature. Have over 20 years of education experience. Her heart and soul is poured into you. And she is here as one of San Antonio Cares community partners. She is with the National Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, AXO.
Okay.
committee program, and she'll be telling us a little bit about that and how we partner together.
Can't wait to hear about that. We're going to share a little bit about the National Care Mentoring Movement. It was founded by Susan L. Taylor. The National Cares Mentoring Movement is a pioneering community galvanizing movement dedicated to alleviating intergenerational poverty among African Americans. It offers Black children and low-income families and unstable communities the social, emotional, and academic supports they need to unleash their potential and graduate from high school prepared to succeed in college or vocational training programs and 21st century careers. So again, thank you, Ms. Moore, for coming today, and also your guest today, Ms. Konise. So let me just get started. I want to begin with the program that you and your husband co-chair. We're going to talk about the biggest national MLK March, which is here in San Antonio. But the day preceding that on Sunday, you and your husband do something very special. If you can just kind of share a little bit about what that is with the viewership of the Main Health Show.
Okay, what we do, of course, Harold and I co-chair the event, but it's not just us. It's a whole team of individuals that provide support, program participants. We have Linda Tippins has volunteers that come together, but we have over 60 organizations that lay wreaths in honor of Dr. King. It's a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. It lasts about 1 hour. We've had speakers: Bernard Harris, first Black astronaut; Colette Pierce, who was the president of Houston Tillerson; Thomas TNT Todd, I think you got to hear him. Jim Wyatt came up from the African American National Chamber of Commerce. We've had Tommy Dortch, who actually is the father of the 100 Black Men, and Tommy, back when CARES first started, he provided free space as well to Susan Taylor for that event. John Carlos, as we all know, he was a speaker as well. But we do a quick program that's always started off by awesome San Antonio or Bexar County Buffalo soldiers leading the way. Have a quick program and a speaker. An iPad speaker this year was Claude Cummings, who is awesome. He's over the CWA, first African American president of the CWA. Wow. And he was also part of a gospel group, Endurance, Grammy nominated. Yes. And even though it was freezing, and you were there, we were really, really honored, and that we probably still had over 200 people participate.
That's great. That's great. Each year, I think it gets better and better, even though it feels impossible to do so. But it seems like it just gets better and better. So today we want to talk about the CARES. I did share that it was founded by Susan L. Taylor, a phenomenal woman who's doing great things. But that's on the national. We want to talk about what it is that you're doing in San Antonio CARES, which is the local chapter that you've been over since 2010. So kind of share what it is you're doing. And of course, you brought a partner. Share exactly what you're doing with that.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to highlight a bit about national, because I can't help but do that. You know, Susan is a woman of wisdom, grace, and beauty, and we probably all remember her face on the cover of Essence magazine. Who would have ever thought that we would be working alongside each other? But what happened after 37 years, I believe, at Essence, after Hurricane Katrina came, and she just saw, the need for adult Black mentors and the need of our people to stop the intergenerational poverty. I don't have to talk about the mission and vision, because you did a wonderful job of that in the introduction. But they have different components. We have the mentor recruitment at a national level and local. I'll get to San Antonio in a moment. They also have a program they have called the Rising, where they actually go into the schools and have wellness circles dealing directly with the youth. And they also have the University for Parents, which is a very important piece as well. That's an area that San Antonio is growing into, I decree and declare. Where the parents go in, because you can't teach what you don't know.
Exactly.
And just yesterday, and Pastor Ray Brown's message, he talked about that. You can't emulate what you haven't seen. So not just working along with the students, but you can also work with their parents to help them become self-sufficient and maybe, you know, kind of tone up some of their parenting skills. Well, but here, each market is different. And in San Antonio Cares, one of our main things have been mentor recruitment. And when we say mentor, we're not necessarily looking for children to mentor because we're not trying to recreate the wheel. We have a number of organizations, the Omegas, even AXO is an example of direct youth mentoring. You have the 100 Black Men, you have the Alphas, the Delta, the AKAs. They already have students that they're mentor. Our goal is to work with the adult mentor themselves. Because, you know, sometimes you may have someone who maybe has their own trauma that they haven't totally healed from. And if they become a mentor to a child, you know, they're not totally ready. You don't want them, passing that on. So that is what CARE's focus is. We've worked with Big Brothers and Big Sisters for years. We were the first recipients of the Jane Blair Award. So we're focusing in on that. And then another crisis that we have here now is youth, mental health of our youth. And you know, for years in our culture, it wasn't heard of. We don't talk about mental health issues. We don't talk about maybe thinking about suicide because people are like, you're crazy. You don't go to a counselor. You can't be going to a counselor. So that is another area that we're going to talk about that we're focusing on. And I know you yourself as well. You're involved with the American Society of Suicide Prevention. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. We had a whole segment about that, but it's true. In African American community, those are subjects, mental health, suicide, that, you know, it's taboo, you just don't talk about, but it's a new day. And we need to have a conversation safely because, you know, lives are at stake. So I'm glad to know that that is one of the initiatives that are being talked about in the SA Cares and the national mentoring movement as well.
So what I would like to do is pause just for a little bit on San Antonio Cares. I would like Konise to just take a moment, and I always say AXO because it's such a long name. Why don't you give us some information on AXO and your history with it and what you all do?
Sure. Thank you guys for both inviting me here today to talk about it. I've been working with the Moores for just over a year now, and what I can tell you is, as SA Cares, they get involved, which is important because sometimes you reach out to people and they're like, oh yeah, you can call us, we'll do it, and they don't answer your calls or something. But no, and if I don't call Mary, she will call me to check in, how everything's going, what are you doing with the kids. But AXO stands for the Afro Academic, Cultural, and Technological Scientific Olympics of the Mind. So that is a mouthful. But basically, in the late 70s, and a member of the NAACP, Mr. Jared, he wanted to do something for our students that didn't involve sports because he understood that kids were often being pulled for how far you can throw a ball or you know, how fast you can run. But he said, our kids can do more than just that. Let's just talk about what they can do. And so I like to call it a STEAM competition because everyone is like clued in on STEM right now and STEAM. So it includes the arts, but that's basically what it is. So our students compete in about 34, 35 categories. Everything from visual arts to acting to dancing to engineering, to math, you know, all these things, including entrepreneurship for our students. So some years ago, I participated in AXO. And
just a few years ago.
Yeah, just some years ago, I participated, and I'd never been to anything like it. The amount of value that was put into me, like people looked at me like I was worth something, encouraged me to do more than what I was doing. And then it wasn't just being in the competition. I went to nationals, and when I got there was opportunities for other scholarship. I met a ton more kids that look just like me,
Yes.
which never happened to me.
Yes.
So you're surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of really talented African American Black students, and that really excited me, and I wanted other kids to have that. So I continued to volunteer for some years, but college and life kind of gets in the way. Yes, and so I want to thank Miss Lewis for reaching out to me. She chairs the Sharice Cochran fund and organization, and she said, she came to our school and she said, "Wait, you were an AXO? Oh, we've got to get you involved."
Yes.
And from then on, her and Miss Regina Horn-Esprit took me under their wing and said, you can do this. So I did. So now I chair the committee. Wow. We are taking 3 students to nationals this summer. In July to Las Vegas, so it'll be a little warmer than it is here. But for those kids to compete and hopefully have their lives changed. Yes. I thought when I first reached out to Mary, her and I had all these ideas of all these things we were going to do because we're both planners and we're really go-getters. And then we found out it doesn't, the kids would tell us more of what they needed, and it's just sort of organically happened. So we haven't pushed anything. She comes to our meetings, she meets the kids, she sees what they need. They volunteer how they need to volunteer. They donate how they need to donate. And now the kids just organically see them in the group and they're like, oh, okay, I know them and it's okay. So as we're growing more with the mentoring, with the people who do want to mentor with our group and with the students, then they are just really a part of, what we do. They're a cornerstone of that. So
that brings so much value because sometimes we get into organizations or causes because we like what it stands for.
Yes.
But the mere fact that you went through the program just a couple of years ago.
Just a few years ago.
But that you went through it, lived life and achieved, but then came back. That is so important, and it speaks volumes to what the value that program brings. So I'm so glad that both of your agencies and programs were able to connect together. So when it comes to, because that's great information, when it comes to CARES, what do you go through in getting the volunteers for the mentors, or is it a criteria, or what does it entail in order for someone who wants to partner with?
Well, first of all, we definitely want them to really want to do it and to have a passion for it. Because if there is no passion for it, if you're just getting in it just to be doing it, just to say that I'm a mentor, then that's not going to work. Because first of all, the kids will know.
Yes.
And let me get rid of that word.
Authenticity.
The youth will know. They will know whether you have a heart for it or not. You have to be stable, meaning you have to be able to pass a background check, because no matter how much, we want to make sure that our kids, our youth, are safe.
Yes.
And then be willing to put in the time. I mean, it seems like something so little, but it can make such a difference. You said something, how just being part of the AXO program made you feel like you were worth something. And I think that is a message that we all need to make sure, whether it's our child or anyone else's child, when we see another minority youth, black or brown child, we need to express it to them. Maybe their pants are hanging off them, maybe they got tattoos, but we shouldn't be so judgmental. Because they have society coming against them. We just need to show that we love them and that we care about them. Because you could say one little mark to someone, could mess them up for the rest of their life. And there is no cookie cutter to mentoring. It's a lot of listening and just being there. Just being present. And it is something, because if you sit and you listen to the youth, they will tell you what they need. I brought a book, Young Brown People Speak. We are listening. And this book particularly was really good. And what it was good about it is a compilation of students from all over the U.S. of things that they want to say.
Wow.
When we all gather together for the national conference, they bring youth in that are in the program and you could just hear how their lives have been transformed and changed. So you can probably think of a mentor maybe that you had. I know we have our mother and fathers,
Yes.
But there's
There have been
someone.
some, and we need that, especially, and I think it's more empowering when it's somebody that looks like you that is doing it. So, not to say that other people cannot assist you, but especially in the 60s when I was born, you really didn't see many people on TV that represented you. But when you had that teacher that could pull you at school and say, I know you can do this, I have. You're already hearing it at home. But to have somebody else that could really help you to empower and lift you up, of course, it meant a lot. So it's good to know. I heard you say, and for the audience, if they didn't, even those who want to, there is a process of background checks and different things to make sure that the children are going to be in good hands. So I think that is very important to say.
And one thing I like to kind of touch on is when you talk about the mentors that look like us, and when you went to AXO, talk about you saw hundreds of people that look like you, and you maybe not have always been exposed to that. I know you've done graduate work and at Trinity and Dr. Anderson, and in my graduate program, my subject was the impact of an adult black mentor on a black youth. So I got to really delve into some deep research on how it does make a difference. And my teacher, which I'll give her a shout out, she may not hear it, who's AKA Miss Hilda Penn, back, I'm a few years younger, just a few years older than y'all. She was a black teacher at Highlands, and she was my shorthand teacher. Of course, nobody knows what shorthand is. And it was because of her I went and I won, a competition in one state, and I still remember her to this day because she made a difference. She took me from just playing basketball because I was not getting a scholarship, and kind of geared me toward that and toward thinking of what I was going to do when I graduated, and that's what kind of geared me toward the world of business, which I'm still in. So it is important.
It's impactful. It's that impact that you want to make, that difference, that transformation, and it's very important. So we have 5.5 minutes left, actually. Are there any upcoming events that are being planned with AXO or SA Cares, or where do you foresee the future of your organizations and what you would like to do with it?
You want to go first?
Well, I was just going to say, if you ask us, we've already planned out the world and saved it.
Okay.
But I mean, there's got to be a shorter version to that. So I would say, for us, getting the students ready for competition is big, because every year I get applications back from a number of students to compete locally. And the way AXO works is if you make a gold medal here in San Antonio, it's also your golden ticket to nationals.
Oh,
okay. It's your golden ticket to nationals. So only about a third of the students who send me applications will actually show up. Because somewhere along the line, they convince themselves they're not ready, they can't do it. So the mentoring has to even start before I reach them. And so one of the things I'd like to do is those advisors, those teachers that are sending us students, I think somehow connecting with them beforehand to keep those kids from counting themselves out.
That's crucial.
Yeah, it's crucial. I've had students the day of the competition, an hour before, text me and say, I don't think I can come. And they will drop out, and that kind of breaks my heart. So I see us somehow tackling that and getting more students. Right now, we'll spend time getting the ones we do have ready and preparing them to be confident when they go there. You're going to see a lot of people, a lot of talent, but you're also talented.
Exactly.
So just show up.
I love it.
So again, we are at getting that belief that they can do it, that they are worthy as well. With San Antonio Cares, of course, with both of you all's help, we will be, increasing some of our recruitment events. Now that I have been trained in QPR, which is another form of mental health, attacking the mental health in the black youth, Fonda Bryant, who is the daughter of Johnny Taylor.
Oh, goodness.
My
Okay.
last $2. She has a program. She herself is a survivor because she was going to attempt suicide. It was just something that she said to her aunt, that she was able to realize what was going on and get to her before that.
Beforehand.
So it's nothing like having someone. And that's a very dear subject to me as well. And that Steph knows a little bit about how it has touched different parts of my family. But we're willing to get out and speak, and probably working along with you in the Let's program to different youth groups.
Count me in.
Different adults, you know, because we have to let these kids know if something's going on, they're not prepared for this crisis.
No.
They don't have to handle it alone. There's some people, we're going to listen, we're not going to judge them. We're just going to reach out and see what we can do to just save them and just get them redirected.
Yes.
So that is actually a national initiative as well. So if anyone who is listening to this is not here in San Antonio, and maybe you're in another state, if you go to caresmentoring.org, you can go there. There are 58 affiliates throughout the United States, where there have been over 200,000 mentors through the program, and 300,000 children who have been touched through the program. But you can go there and find an affiliate circle near you. And for us here in San Antonio, just send a quick email to San Antonio Cares. Pop up on Facebook, San Antonio Cares, so that we can all connect.
Yes. You are so good, because I was going to ask. I know that there's somebody who wants to connect with you. Thank you for that information. You just segued into that so greatly. Share some information with someone who's interested to get their children associated with what your program offers. Some contact information, if you would.
Okay, so I'm part of our local NAACP branch.
Okay.
But I would say our national website has a lot of information if you just want a lot of background.
Okay.
So I would say the www.naacp.org site is where you'd want to go. Our local branch is on Facebook.
Okay.
So you can just type in San Antonio branch NAACP and find us and see what we're doing. We keep it pretty updated.
Okay.
And it has our email
Okay.
contact on there as well.
Okay.
And before we run out of time, I want to thank you.
Yes.
Really, this has been really wonderful for you just being so willing to open up, your program to help us spread the news.
Well,
Thank
you're
you.
more than welcome, and I've had some experience working with your program, and it's been such a tremendous blessing to me to be able to do that. So it was only fitting that I share it with the Maine Health audience. But thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing
Thank
this
you.
jewel here that you brought along and the information that she shared. So it's that time once again. Thank you for watching the Maine Health Show. Take care and be blessed. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm Stephanie Anderson, a hair loss professional, a speaker, advocate, and best-selling author. And I want to talk to you about Alopecia Is a Thing, breaking through the BS or the belief systems. This is a groundbreaking book that delves deep into the truths about alopecia that have been long misunderstood. Are you or someone you know affected by this condition? Then this book is a must-read for you. In this eye-opening read, you will uncover the causes, the symptoms, and emotional support options for alopecia like never before. Say goodbye to misconceptions and discover practical tips and advice that have empowered countless individuals to reclaim their confidence and embrace their true selves. But the journey doesn't stop there. Alopecia Is a Thing goes beyond facts and figures, and it's a collection of powerful personal stories from real people who have triumphed over alopecia. Their inspiring journeys will touch your heart and show you the incredible resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Whether you're personally affected by alopecia or seeking to better understand it, this book is your essential guide. It's a beacon of hope and empowerment for anyone willing to open their minds to new perspectives and possibilities. Don't miss out on this transformative read. You don't have to be a woman or man losing your hair to understand this book, but you must have an open mind too. And if you're ready to take control of your life and regain your confidence, then Alopecia is a Thing is a perfect resource for you. And let's journey towards, if not an hairier, but emotionally healthier future together.